What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So as you guys know, the other day we did a DK Metcalf Pittsburgh Steelers rebuild, and of course another big named wide receiver who was on the move, who got cut by the Jets, Davante Adams, also signed with the Los Angeles Rams as well. Also, the last time we did a Rams rebuild, it was about, trading Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. Obviously, Stafford stayed and Cooper Kupp just ended up getting cut. So let's just talk about what the Rams did in free agency, mostly highlighted by Davante Adams, of course. Let's go ahead and jump in and do this. Davante Adams, Los Angeles Rams rebuild in Madden 25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like in this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. YouTube tells me 85% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do fall in the 85%, want to change that, that would be greatly appreciated. So what to expect in this channel going forward has been kind of what's obviously been happening lately. We're just going to be kind of doing the free agency rebuilds. Unfortunately, we will not have accurate rosters across the whole 32 team landscape until after the draft, which is still quite a ways away, unfortunately. But if most you probably know by now, the way I do these rebuilds is I can only manually set up the team I'm rebuilding. So like the other teams across the league, their rosters aren't accurate. It sucks. I wish there was a better way to do it. But I'm telling you this because last night I was planning on recording this video as well, and I did everything to set things up, and it can be kind of a long process sometimes. The Rams thankfully didn't have that many transactions, but I had to edit Davante Adams' contract, I had to change him to punter, then trade him, and I did all of that, and I was ready to start recording, and then I realized Stafford retired. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bed. I'm just going to bed. But here we are trying it again. So you guys should have seen this video on Friday, but instead you're going to see this on Saturday because I'm recording this Friday night now. But Matthew Stafford this time did not retire on us. But let's talk about what the Rams did this offseason. Obviously, they did cut Cooper Kupp away. Oh, we also need to trade Jonah Jackson. Almost forgot to do that. So we're going to trade him as well. You know, forgetting to do something. But they re-signed Tutu Atwell to a one-year deal. They brought back Alaric Jackson. They signed Coleman Shelton to a deal as well. They signed Jimmy Garoppolo back. And I think that's about all they did on offense, if I'm not mistaken. Then defensively, they added Poona Ford at that D tackle spot, which is pretty cool. And then they brought back Witherspoon as well. But other than that, I think that's about it. Of course, we are already in the NFL draft here. I just went ahead and skipped to that part because obviously the free agency is basically over at this point. But I need to trade Jonah Jackson away and send him to the Bears. And then I'll see you guys in draft night to see what we can add to this team. We all know the Rams have a very fun young defense. Do we add on the defensive side of the ball? Do we add on the offense? We shall find out when we jump in the draft to start this rebuild. I'm actually pretty confident that the Rams don't have a full slate of draft picks. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure they're missing a second. Now, I honestly, at the top of my head, can't remember why that is the case. Probably forgetting about an obvious trade that they made, or maybe they're supposed to have a second. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they don't have a second here. But the number one need, in my opinion, is either corner or a tackle. We really need one of those, and that's offensive lineman, by the way. So we probably go with one of those positions, as we have Malachi Starks on the board, Milrow, Ratledge. We still have Benjamin Morrison, who I've been taking a lot of, but he would fit a need immediately because we have no good corners right now. Is there a different corner I could take, or is Morrison just a no-brainer at this point? So we have Shafon Revel as well, or Trey Amos, or Denzel Burke. So either one's pretty good. I know Revel, I think, got hurt, but he has C-Press, Z-Zone. Speed is elite, so I might give him a chance instead of just taking Benjamin Morrison all the time, because I do take Morrison pretty often. Obviously, he looks so much better, but just to change it up, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Trevon Revel instead. I know this guy was pretty good before he got hurt. But he's got elite speed. So we're going to take him in round 1, and we'll see if we end up regretting that. But I'm just trying to change it up from drafting Benjamin Morrison all the time. So 96 speed, Siobhan Revel. Welcome to the Los Angeles Rams. And as I mentioned, pretty sure we're not going to have a second-round pick, but hopefully I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure, yeah. So our pick goes to, is it the Panthers did it go to? I do not remember why that is the case. I'm just probably blanking on something obvious, but whatever. Someone will remind me in the comment section. So I mentioned we need a tackle, and Cornelius doesn't sound too shabby. We also could take Ernest Green down here too, so either one of those would probably be a fine acquisition. So I'm just going to go ahead and take Johnny Cornelius to be our brand new right tackle. I believe Rob Havenstein has not been signed at all in real life, so it wouldn't shock me at all if he ended up resigning with the Rams eventually, or maybe he retired. I don't know, but that was their right tackle before. He is still sitting in free agency, I believe. But I will see you guys in the lineup for year number 1. Because all we had was 2 picks. I usually don't draft 4th and 5th rounder because I usually suck at drafting. But I'll see you guys with the lineup for drafting late in the draft. But I'll see you guys in the lineup for year 1. We do have a trade offer for Quentin Lake, which we're going to go ahead and decline. So we have a young, strong safety waiting in the shadows, I guess, because our strong safety is starting over him. So Stafford, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, Higbee, Cornelius, Dodson, Shelton, Avila, and Alaric Jackson, who was also re-signed, if I didn't mention that earlier. Tutu Atwell, Kyron Williams. So really good offense. Obviously, you expect this to be a good offense. I guess we'll see if Madden agrees with that. And then defensively, we have, they have to actually draft as hidden dev middle linebacker, which we definitely needed too. Javon Revel is a 76 overall immediately, which is good. I'm going to throw him at corner 1. Let's just throw him into the Wolves there. Kitchens and Curl will obviously be the safety duo. Jared Verse is obviously the star of this defense. We have Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Byron Young. So there's a lot to like about this defense, but there definitely is still more to address. But let's see if Madden has his team making the playoffs in year 1 with Davante Adams now on the team. So Davante and Puka Nacua as a duo should be pretty disgusting, but we'll see how it goes. I will see you all at the end of year 1. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if this team missed the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if they made it. I feel like the Rams get a weird simulation sometimes. You just really never know what you're going to expect with the Rams, but I'm not going to change any playbook yet. I'm going to let it rock with what we have, and we'll see if we're in the playoffs or not in year 1. So at the end of year 1, the results we get are pretty much smack dab in the middle. And it looks like we may have missed the playoffs in the last week, I have to guess. So we ended up as a 9th seed. So yeah, potentially we could have made it at 10-7, but I guess we'll never know. So we'll have to look at the player stats to kind of see how things went. So Puka Nacua was awesome though. Offensively, 13 NFL. Stafford was still extremely good as well. And defensively, we were 5th in NFL. So 9-8, good stats on both sides of the ball, but we missed the playoffs because we lost to the Saints in week 18. So Puka Nacua had a fantastic year, though. 22 touchdowns, 1,700 yards. I think it's safe to assume that he'll probably go up to Superstar X Factor after that. Adams only had 800 yards and only 2 touchdowns, which is very unproductive for him. 12 sacks for Kobe Turner. First with 10.5, 6.5 from Fisk, 4.5 from Ford, 3 from Spates, and then 4 interceptions from Williams, 3 from Quentin Lake, 1 from Siobhan Revel, who is a star dev right away. So we might still need to add another corner to the room, but I'm so happy we took him over just to, always taking Benjamin Morrison. So unfortunately, 9-8, we missed the playoffs. And also, unfortunately, as Stafford is old and he might regress, and he might even retire. Who knows in this Madden Sim. But man, we might have to find a new quarterback this offseason as well. So that's going to be kind of a tough challenge. We'll have to kind of see what's available to us. We'll have to see if he calls it a career as well. I think we could start by looking in the offseason the first week before we get to the re-signing stage. Let's take a look to see if Stafford calls it. And I have to assume he did because $150 million is sitting with us. Darius Williams calls it a career. So that's something you have to take note of. But let's go look at the NFC West. So no Stafford. Stafford did not retire. Darius Williams retires after 8 years. Maybe Stafford's a free agent. But we'll have to kind of see what it's looking like. So let's go take a look to see what is sitting in free agency for us as far as our own guys are concerned. Texans, Packers, and the Packers, I think, won. Cameron Curl, Puna 4, Tutu Atwell, Kobe Durant, Quentin Lake. Okay, so Stafford is not sitting here, so we might have to look into that here in just a second. But Kyron Williams, yes, I would like to keep Kyron Williams, obviously, superstar dev, 26-year-old running back. Don't want to let that walk out the door. Cameron Curl, he's a fine starter, but if he left us, I wouldn't be too upset, but he's going to stick around. Man, I can't even think of the top of my head what kind of deal Puna Ford signed, but I think it was a 3-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember exactly the money, but I'm going to bring him back. And then Tutu Atwell, who I like as a third wide receiver with this offense, but Jordan Whittington is still waiting in the shadows too. But Atwell says no thanks. So you know what? That's fine. I think that's maybe means something. So Higbee, Ronnie Rivers, Garoppolo are all free agents. I mean, we could bring back Quentin Lake. We probably could have traded him as well, and we didn't. So let's just sign him to a depth offer, and he will stick around. And then last but not least, Kobe Durant. We want to keep Kobe Durant. Darius Williams did retire, so keeping him probably as the third corner would be beneficial if we could. Revel will be corner 2. I'm not ready for Forbes to take the opportunity. I still hate Ron Rivera with a passion for drafting him over Gonzalez. But who knows? Maybe we wouldn't have Jaden Daniels if that didn't ever happen. So that's me speaking as a Commanders fan, by the way, when it comes to Emmanuel Forbes. But all right, let's take a look at the lineup. Also, you really got to look at Stafford's overall now. And it's a 74. Oh, that's brutal. So, I mean, he was really good last year. So maybe we let him rock out for one more year. We could still draft a quarterback to maybe like mentor under him or something like that. So tight end spot's kind of blank. The O-line is fine. Our wide receiver core is going to have to, be what it is. I think Whittington at wide receiver 3 makes things interesting. The tight end is like the one position I'm kind of looking at, and then potentially drafting quarterback as well in the draft. So Simon ended up being a star dev, right? Well, he was hidden dev, duh. But he's a 75 overall. We do need a corner badly. Kobe Turner's up. Fisk is up. So yeah, this all looks good, other than I think we could use upgrades at the safety spot. The secondary and maybe middle linebacker still need some addressing as well, but our defense was good last year. So we have $160 million in cap space. I think we'll rock out with Stafford one more year. We have Brock Purdy, who we could sign in theory, but the 49ers have let so many players walk that I can't imagine that Brock Purdy would just... I know he sounds to the Rams all the time in the Madden sim, but I can't do it. So Kyle Pitts is sitting here, which would be an interesting dart throw at tight end. Higbee is here, and Josh Oliver is only 29. But obviously, I think the most intriguing position to go, or most intriguing tight end to try to sign here would be Kyle Pitts, who from all accounts, which we're not going to get him, by the way, so we can just move on from that. But by all accounts, I think Kyle Pitts could almost be considered a bust for what it has been so far with how high he was drafted. But I don't know. We'll have to see how it continues. So we could draft, or we could sign a left tackle as well, which I wouldn't hate the idea of. But is there a good corner in this free agency? So there's Kendall Fuller, Dax Hill, and Jonathan Jones. We could give Dax Hill a flyer, who's only 25 years old. I don't hate the idea of that. Could get him on a really cheap contract, and maybe he becomes really good. So let's give Dax Hill a chance. I could go for Kendall Fuller, but he's just older. So I think going for the 25-year-old could be kind of intriguing, just kind of an interesting idea. We have Nakobe Dean, but I think I'm cool with rocking with our middle linebacker spots over just signing Nakobe Dean. Our D-line is fine. Offensive line is fine because we're paying Alaric Jackson. We just drafted Cornelius, so we probably don't need to do anything like that. Center, we can go for McGovern, but I think I'm good on that. So I guess the only other things, so we've offered Dax Hill and Oliver for our corner and tight end spot. Maybe a wide receiver 3 if we really wanted to go for one. There's Raven McLeod, but we could give Whittington the opportunity to step up, which I do think there is that opportunity in the future. But I will give Raven McLeod an offer to like a 1-year deal type thing. Just, not a 7. We don't need to sign him for 7 years, but a 1-year deal for Raven McLeod. See if he signs that. And then last but not least, let's see if there's like any young quarterback prospects. No, not at all. So we could go for like Zach Wilson, but I'm not doing that. So we're going to submit these offers. So it's not a crazy free agency busy class for us, but let's see if we can get these 2 or 3 to sign. So we get Daxel and Oliver, which is fine. So we don't get, unfortunately, we do still have Dubs here, which I'm going to give Dubs a 2-year deal. That gives us a legit wide receiver room. And Josh Oliver was our tight end addition. So as much as I was, hyping up Whittington, I guess he's never going to get the opportunity because we signed Romeo Dubs instead. All right. Well, I will see you guys on draft night, where I think in round 1, we really have to consider drafting a quarterback because we know damn well Stafford is not going to be here next year. But because he was so good last year, I think I might let him start again, but we'll see. So before we jump into this draft, tight end definitely still needs help. Oliver is fine, but obviously not a tight end 1 by any means. Wide receiver room is fine. Center is like the one position on the offensive line I'd like to address. And then defensively, I mean, we got some, safety was still something I was really trying to upgrade, but wasn't able to do that. So I guess we're just going to have to kind of see how the draft board falls. There's a number of ways we could attack this draft, honestly. So let's go pick at 17. Davante Adams number, and he is the theme of this video, so kind of interesting there. But already I'm kind of seeing something. I just don't understand why sometimes he goes and sometimes he doesn't. But I've talked to you about how we need a free safety upgrade, and I think I would be mistaken if... Or wait, maybe he did go. I was thinking Caleb Downs didn't get drafted. Did he? Or maybe is he just not in this draft? Or no. Oh, he got taken at 4. I didn't see his name. I was like, damn, okay, so Caleb Downs fell to our lap. But no, I'm dead wrong in that. Okay, so no Caleb Downs. That was kind of what I was about to look at. So Kendrick Law, Anthony Hill. Ooh, I kind of like that too. Chester, although we do need a center for the future. Don't hate this idea. We get ourselves a legitimate center because Coleman Shelton is going to be under contract forever. His grades look amazing too. I'm going to take DJ Chester here in round 1. I don't often draft centers in round 1. He's hidden dev, ranked true value, not great, but not bad. So we'll take DJ Chester in round 1, and I will pick up 41. So, or sorry, 49, I should say. So DeAndre Moore, Ramsey, Love go before we're about to pick. Now we have Drew Aller. Do we take Drew Aller to be the quarterback going forward after this? I don't know if I've ever drafted Aller. Other than that, we have Jalen Daniels, Connor Wegman, Rocco Beck, Billy Edwards, Caden Salter, and Carson Beck, and then Miller Moss. Oh man, Drew Aller. Do we take Drew Aller? B, deep accuracy, B, medium accuracy. Drew Aller could be the guy that takes over when Stafford is gone. Do we like that idea is the question. Or do we get aggressive and just trade it for a quarterback in the offseason? I'm going to take Drew Aller here and see what we think about him. If we don't like the idea of him next year, he is in dev, so we have that at least. Drew Aller is at least going to be a hidden dev quarterback, but he might be the guy that's starting in year 3 potentially, but we'll have to kind of see how it goes. Now, last but not least, if we could draft a corner, I still think that's probably the most ideal thing we could do here. And Delane, I don't even need to look at him because I've drafted him plenty of times, but he's got great speed, so I'm going to take him. So gives us another corner in the room. I still don't think we have like a number 1 corner, but we have some young, interesting options, I guess, at the cornerback room. So we'll see how that draft board goes for us as far as making the playoffs in year 2. Year 1, we were probably 1 game away. Let's see if in year 2 we can get that 1 game and go 10-7 or above rather than 9-8. So taking a look at the lineup for year number 2, this is what it's going to look like. So Drew Aller is a 71 overall. Our first round pick was a 76 overall center, so he should be pretty good in the future. Looks like we got another running back. He's a 74 fullback though, so we'll take that. Stafford probably last year starting as a Ram, and then defensively we have Delane up to a 71. Forbes is our 3rd corner right now. So, oh yeah, I forgot Kobe Durant never signed with us, so we really have to actually. You know what? We don't even have to really think about that. Who's our slot corner right now? Slot cornerback is Quentin Lake, which actually is fine. We can rock with that. So Forbes won't get too much snaps, but I still think we'll put Delane over Forbes in the depth chart. So we'll go with that. We'll see if our defense can replicate what we did last year. And kind of same thing for the offense. If the offense could just be as good as last year, I would have to assume that the playoffs could be in the cards this year, but we don't really know how good Stafford's going to be with him going down to a 74 overall. But the hope is playoffs, and we'll see if that hope ends up being achieved. But I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. So at the end of year 2, we go from 9-8 to 8-9. So that is fantastic. So, and by the way, we have $201 million in cap space, which is probably the most cap space I've ever had in a Madden rebuild, I believe. So that's pretty insane. I don't know how many free agents we have to worry about, but yeah, pretty wild. 8-9, disappointing, obviously. Let's take a look at the stats. So Stafford was once again extremely good. We were 2nd offense, so there's nothing we can really complain about there. And defensively, we were top 5 on both sides of the ball, but we just can't have a good record, I guess. I don't know. So 9 touchdowns, 1,000 yards from Kyron. Puka Nacua was great again, 21 touchdowns, 600 yards. Adams has been okay, nothing fantastic. Sacks-wise, 11 from Braden Fisk. I mean, defense and offense has been fantastic. It just has not gone well, I guess. So let's take a look at the resigning stage, because I've already taken the liberty to get to that point. So year 3 should hopefully net us well, it's probably because we have a lot of good free agents to worry about. So Puka Nacua is going to be the first one versus probably a 5th-year option. If I had to guess, it is. Okay. So Jared First, up to a superstar dev, rightfully so. Steven Dotson, Byron Young. No wonder we have so much damn cap space. There's a lot of good free agents here for us. Okay, so Kobe Turner, same thing. Got to keep him around. So the cap space was a little bit of a lie. I mean, it is a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but we're about to be using it on re-signing a lot of guys. So, and then Dotson, who is probably our best offensive lineman at the moment. Yeah, sign me up for that. Only 30 years old, so he'll be around. And then Byron Young, yes. Davante had to probably, obviously, title the video. Okay, so thankfully after Davante, Stafford has just gotten to the point where he's just too old to bring back. So probably, and regressed too much, I guess I should say, is probably the better terms. But Spades, Adams, and Byron Young, all guys I would love to bring back if possible. So Byron Young will stick around, and then Adams will hopefully stick around. That's a pretty cheap deal for Adams too. Adams will stick around. Omar Spates is our starting middle linebacker 2. Or is actually our middle linebacker 1, technically. And he wants to play for a new team. How much does it cost a franchise tag middle linebacker? 18 million? I don't think that's worth it. So we still have $90 million in cap space. So that's still a lot to work with. And we kind of have, Drew Aller under center at quarterback. We want to rock with him. Do we want to rely on Drew Aller is the question. That's my thing. So he's a 74 overall though out of the gate. So maybe we just let him start and see how it goes. And then Hurds is 75 overall. So honestly, the only thing on offense I think we need is just a tight end, and we would be good on the offense probably. And then defensively, we could use a middle linebacker now and still a corner one, but Siobhan Revel and Dax Hill are up in safeties. So secondary, maybe middle linebacker. Other than that, this is looking pretty solid, and it's been good. So I guess we're going to let Drew Aller be the guy next year and see how it goes. I don't know if I've ever started Drew Aller in a rebuild at all, honestly, but maybe I have. I just don't remember. Okay, so we have, yeah, Kyle Hamilton would be, I don't think I've ever gotten, and Marlon Humphrey. I mean, we get both Ravens here. Sign me up for that. Now, I don't think I've ever achieved in signing Kyle Hamilton before. But if we can add both of them to our secondary, imagine how good our defense gets. And it was already really good. So let's, of course, throw a big offer at Kyle Hamilton and see how close we are to getting him. But yeah, this to me is a no-brainer. So we're his third offer, though. So we might have to come in a little bit stronger. Now, he does have interest in coming here. So that should help us out a little bit with that. But man, if we can get both the Ravens, safety and corner, that would go a long way. But I don't know if we'll get lucky enough. Branch has one offer, so hopefully he doesn't accept the first offer he's given. I am still going to go for Marlon Humphrey, though. I think Marlon Humphrey gives us a kind of aggressive nature we really need. Frank Ragnow is great, but we did draft center last year, and Rashee Rice is here too, but we don't need that much help at wide receiver right now. Jamel Dean would be a fine. Well, it looks like we're going to get Humphrey, so we don't need to go for that. Spates is the best middle linebacker here, and he was on this defense anyway, so keeping him, to me, makes a ton of sense. And then tight end was the other position I felt like we really needed. So Hunter Henry, Darnell Washington. We don't have to draft our tight end. So let's go take a look, though, to see if we are going to be landing Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey. It looks like we'll get Humphrey at least. I would love nothing more to get Kyle Hamilton too, but I don't know if we'll get that lucky. So let's see. And fingers crossed. Yes, we got Kyle Hamilton. I don't think I've ever gotten him in a rebuild, but we got Hamilton and Humphrey to add to this already really damn good defense. I mean, that just feels great. Rashee Rice is still sitting here, but again, I don't think I'm going to go for that. So honestly, I might get aggressive and just trade for a tight end here. Drew Aller has everything he possibly can need around him other than maybe a tight end, but our defense should be damn good now with Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey added. This defense was already really good. We do need a more middle linebacker depth, so I'm going to sign that right now. But man, once I get a middle linebacker, I think I'm going to trade for a tight end and just punt on this draft and just go all in like the Rams did when they won their first Super Bowl anyway. So Blake Cashman, McFadden, Baker, Drew Sanders would have been great at 25 years old, but there's still some good options here. So give me Blake Cashman, I guess, as depth. We'll sign Blake Cashman and we'll sign another middle linebacker. Actually, no, we'll just leave it at that. So Cashman will sign. He fits the scheme. Okay. And now I want to trade for a tight end. Let's punt on the draft. Let's go all in. Frank Ragnow goes to the Giants, but I'm ready to make the damn playoffs. Now, you could argue that maybe we should be trading for a quarterback instead, but I'm going to give Drew Aller the keys and see what he does. So Kyle Pitts went to the Bengals, which is a very interesting spot for him. Njoku, who has been a Brown forever, I wonder if they would eventually be okay with trading him. I'm going to see if we get Njoku. I think he'd eventually be probably available if I had to guess. Let's start with a second-round pick. And they actually pretty close to agreeing to that. A second and a fourth for Njoku. Close, but not quite. What if I trade my fourth next year too? Might get it done. Oh, so close. Okay. What if I throw a seventh and a... Okay. What if I threw a seventh in here too? And no. Okay. So that's not going to be good enough for Njoku. Maybe I come back to that. McBride, who's only star dev. We might be able to get McBride low-key, who's a better overall. Although that's same division. I doubt the Cardinals would want to trade McBride to the division rival, obviously. Warren, Harold Fannin, Ferguson, which is fun. Lawson Lucky, never heard of him before. Goddard, Lachey, Kittle, Jack Velling, Evan Ingram. Okay, so Laporta probably wouldn't be available. Kraft, Stowers. How good is Stower? Stower 75. Okay. Brock Bauer. You know what would be actually really cool now that I think about it? The odds of the Colts doing this, but let's reunite Drew Aller with his tight end from college. Let's see if we can get Tyler Warren to be added to this team. I'm going to start with a second and a fourth from the Colts. Again, more than likely, you wouldn't be trading Tyler Warren in his rookie contract, but I want to see if I can reunite Drew Aller with a familiar weapon from Penn State. So let's see if we can't make this happen somehow. Okay, so I'm going to be 3/4 and a second, and that still doesn't get it done. Okay. And a 7th. We're punting on picks right now, but Warren would be a okay. What about, okay, let's just go away from the, let's just go a 2nd and a 3rd. Let's just keep it simple. 2nd and a 3rd. It's okay. We have to throw a 7th in here too. Finally going to make this happen. And we don't have a 2nd or 3rd. Okay. What about not a 1st, but what if we threw a 5th in here then? 3rd, 2nd, and a 5th in 2029. Finally agreed to. So we get our tight end, Drew Aller's paired with a familiar weapon. Now we head to the draft, see what we can get with the 1st round pick. And we'll be ready for the lineup in year number 3. So picking 15th overall, let's see what we can get in round 1. This will be the only pick we make in this draft. So let's see what we can make happen. So we actually have a corner, which I actually think, well, we just signed Marlon Humphrey, but screw it, give me another corner. You can never have enough good corners, right? So Darnell, welcome. Number 2 in true value, 93 speed. Going to be the 4th corner on the depth chart. Really can't be too upset with that. So that's going to be our pick. I'll see you guys with the lineup for year 3. Where the expectation is finally going from getting those 9 and 8 numbers, scrambled whatever way you want to scramble them. Get them the hell out of our face. Let's go 10 and 7, 12 and 5, 13 and 4. Maybe go 17 and 0. That's probably not going to happen. But something like that. Let's make the damn playoffs in year 3 is all I'm asking for. So lineup for year number 3 is looking like this. Drew Aller is the quarterback at a 77 overall. O-line has not changed. Obviously, the only thing we did on the offense was add Tyler Warren, which makes our weaponry so legit. Adams is down to 81 overall, but Dub steps in, I guess, at that wide receiver position. So Cashman and then Spates, and you still have Simon. You have Humphrey. You have Duhan. You have Delane. So, like, we actually have so much depth at corner. It's not even funny now. Kyle Hamilton obviously, makes a great spot on our defense. This defense should be good. Our offense should be, well, I don't even know how good Aller is going to be, but our defense should be good. So hopefully that's good enough to make the playoffs. I'm going to load the 2028 draft class, and I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3, where hopefully we finally make the postseason. Long overdue. At the end of the season, we make the playoffs at 12 and 5 finally, and we get to play the Cardinals in back-to-back weeks. We just beat them 20-9, so hopefully we can do that again. If we take a look at top 3 stats, Puka Nacua continues to just obviously kill it. Not as many touchdowns the last 2 years, but let's take a look at the player stats. So offensively, 11th in the NFL, but Aller looked like he was pretty good. And then defensively, we were 30 in the NFL, so defense continues to hold how they've been. Aller were 32 and 15. He had 13 touchdowns, 1,000 from Kyron Williams, Puka, Romeo Dubs, Adams, Warren. All really good stuff there. Sacks-wise, 10.5 from Verse, which is what you expect. 10 from Fisk, 9.5 from Kobe Turner, 4 from Byron Young. We got 6 interceptions from Humphrey, 5 from Kyle Hamilton. So obviously the Ravens boys came over and really helped us out a ton in the secondary. Let's go ahead and jump in and play our division rival, the Cardinals, in round 1. Obviously, after beating them week 18, we're at home again. I don't know if we were at home on the road in that one. They do have Arch Manning, though, at quarterback, so that will be interesting. But hopefully, we can beat them again. So Arch Manning versus Drew Aller here in the playoffs. Should be interesting. The new generation of quarterbacks, I guess. We're down 7-0 to start things off, but we will tie it 7-7. Our defense is not playing well so far, so it's actually 17 seconds left in the second quarter. Now, I didn't think I'd be jumping in, obviously, this soon, but I'm kind of hoping to steal a touchdown or a field goal before this half is over, ideally. So let's see if we can find a way to get the ball to Puka Nacua. I don't know if you guys noticed a small detail. Ooh, oh my goodness. Wow, that actually was a banger. But all right, I was about to say, I don't know if you guys noticed a small detail, but I even changed Puka Nacua's number to 12. Like, who else is doing that? I'm just kidding. There's probably a bunch of people that do that, but man, what a great first start to this drive. Great first play, I should say. I'm gonna give Oliver a chance. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm about to say, if you could, ooh, this is risky business. Do we go for this? I think we do. We go for the touchdown, right? We have to go for the touchdown. Ooh, they're gonna leave Puka Nacua wide open, right? Is that what they're doing right now? Can I give this to him? Puka Nacua touchdown. I don't know what they're doing, but we're gonna steal that. Wow, that was a beautiful drive, honestly. Let's not let it go to waste. Please score in this drive, and we will go up 17-10. Defense gets a stop, but dude, that might have been my best drive ever in Madden, potentially. That looked like it was an absolute demon there, but we are going to win 19-13 and moving on to divisional weekend. What a great start to these playoffs. I looked like a competent Madden player on that drive too. I'll see you guys divisional weekend to see who we get to face. And now for divisional round matchup, and it's actually a divisional round rematch as we get to play the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly as we get a stop to start things off, and we will go score 7-0. Great start, but the Eagles will get a field goal, and we don't score on our second drive. They get another field goal. So 43 seconds left. Can we put any points up? A field goal, and we get the ball after half, and we will double dip 17-6. Beautiful. And we'll go up 24-6. So far, this is going obviously much better than the last time we played the Eagles in the divisional round. We will beat them 27-12 and move on to the NFC Championship. So beautiful stuff there. We beat the Eagles pretty easily. Drew Aller has been pretty good as a starter for us, so I'm feeling pretty good that we drafted him. Let's go see who is awaiting us in the NFC Championship after we just beat the Eagles. And now for the NFC Championship, going into Chicago to play Caleb Williams and the Bears. So we start off with the ball here, and we will go down 7-0, but we will tie it 7-7. Interception from Kyle Hamilton, a big one, and we score off it a field goal. And now the Bears will take the lead 14-10, and the Bears, okay, so it's 10-14. We need a score here in the fourth, and we don't. Defense does get a stop, and we have a chance to go win the game 10-14, our own 9-yard line. So plenty of time here to work with. So let's see if we can't make something happen here. I'm going to start with 4 verticals, and we might just simply, well, I guess let's just see. You know what? Let's scramble this away, and let's get out of bounds here to stop the clock. That's a good drive starter, I think, to, you know, give us some space from the 9-yard line. We'll absolutely take that. And let's see if we can't get this ball actually downfield this time. So nope, this is gonna be thrown away. I tried to scramble to the right to buy some time, and that was clearly not the move. Okay, well, let's get away from 4 verticals now. Let's go to drive flood, and let's just continue to move the ball downfield. Obviously, we need a touchdown. Field goal does not help us in this situation. I think they're gonna, so let's just go to Nakua. Doesn't get much, but it's 3rd and 3 now. So minute 23 left in the clock. All right, so now let's play action then. Let's see what they do with this. So let's see. Now, Romeo, oh my gosh. He was open too, 4th and 3. That could have been downfield, maybe even gone to the house potentially, but instead it's overthrown. Okay, well, we need a first down now, so let's see if we can even get that. We need Puka Nakua to hopefully get open. Thankfully, they're going to leave him wide open, so let's just get first down. And, you know, I just burnt some clock there with that, but we needed to move the chains more than anything. Still plenty of time to work with. Looks like they're not in their spots quite yet. I'm gonna have to throw this away again. So 30 seconds left. Okay, 2nd and 10. We need to lock in. These plays have not been great. All right, I said I need to get away from 4 verticals, and here I'm using it again. All right, so let's see if Adams can get us some. You know what? I'm gonna go to Whittington here. And Whittington makes a play. Now, will we get downfield in time? That was the question. Yes, we will. Okay, 10 seconds left. 2nd and 10. We're inside the red zone, and now we need to find a way to get this to the house. All right. Let's see if they allow it to happen. I'm obviously going to be looking for my boy Puka Nakua here, but they're going to cover him. I'm going to go to... Oh, my... Okay, you know what? I'm actually glad that was incomplete. I thought he was running a totally different route. That could have been really bad. But all right, slot sale. Let's see. Puka Nakua on this corner is my hope. 6 seconds left. This to win the game. Let's see if they allow it to get open. I think it's going to be there if we have time. Puka Nakua, it's not going to be there. 4th and 10. We're going to lose in the NFC Championship. Ah, man. I have to look back at that play. I have to look back at something. Did I have another open route there? I did kind of predetermine I was going with the football. I'm not going to lie. But honestly, I thought he was going to clear there for a second. I suck, man. What can I say? All right. Let's check this out if I can get the camera right. Okay. So, Puka. No. I mean, everyone was on the right side, and there was plenty of bodies over there. I mean, he had a step, technically. Maybe we could have found a way to get that to... Yeah, no. I don't think we had a chance there. I don't think that was the right play call, unfortunately. Unless we had somebody over there. Nope. But yeah, that was not the right play call. Puka was our best shot, and unfortunately, we're going to fall short. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. I will see y'all in the next one. This is Crushables. Have a great weekend. Or rest your weekend anyway. I'm saying. Peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.